Good morning, church. Hope you guys are having a great morning so far. As you know, we are studying through the book of Ephesians, and we come into chapter 5 today. And now, chapter 5 to me is one of the most quoted, most famous chapters, in my opinion, because a lot of these verses and a lot of these topics are quoted and talked about a lot. And to me, a lot of things really jumped out at me, and I love reading this chapter. If you start off in the first couple verses, really start off with a really heavy hitting topic. It says, "Therefore be imitators of God as dearly loved children, and walk in love as the Messiah also loved us and gave himself for us, a sacrificial and fragrant offering to God." Now that immediately is the redemption story. That immediately is telling us that Jesus died for us, and we need to be imitators of God. Now that first those four words, "be imitators of God," to me is one of the most things I think about and one of the most quoted verses. It really I think about it a lot, and I push myself to be like Paul, who said, "Be imitators of me as I imitate Christ." Now, if you jump down to verse 5, this is another thing that really jumped out at me. It says, "For no one recognize this, every sexually immoral or impure or greedy person who is an idolater does not have an inheritance in the kingdom of the Messiah and of God." And two words really jumped out at me. It says, "does not." That is an absolute. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is, if you fall under this list, you do not have an inheritance. It is an absolute. And I love when the Bible talks in absolutes, because it's an absolute. Like, there's no question about it. This is what's going to happen. And that really jumped out at me. And then if you go to the next page, or for me, the next page, we get into the topic of wives and husbands. And obviously, I am not married. I am nowhere near being married. But I still need to read this and get it going, because one day I will be married. And just because I'm not in that opportunity, in that situation right now, doesn't mean I won't be in the future. And that's how I like to look at the Bible a lot, is some things don't pertain to me right now, but they could in the future. Anyway, I'm going off topic, but one thing that really jumped out at me in this little section is in verse 28. "In the same way, husbands are to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself." And the last part, "he who loves his wife loves himself," that really stuck out to me, because a lot of people, male and female, they are struggling increasingly amount in today's world with not loving themselves and not appreciating their bodies. And it really just jumped out to me, because you can't be in a healthy relationship and not love yourself. You have to love yourself before you're able to love your spouse. And it really just jumped out to me, because it's a thing that I've struggled with as well, that I need to love myself before I can love anyone else. And the way I love myself is through God, because God loved me first. Now, there's a lot for me to talk about, and I wish I could talk more, but I need to stop it here. I hope you guys have a great day. God bless.